What's up guys, do you suck at video games? Me too. That's why I decided to spend a month practicing my aim every day on Kovaak Aim Trainer. So basically what inspired me to make this was I saw this video on TikTok. It was a guy who practiced his aim for 2 months or something and he got crazy in Apex from it. And then after that, the YouTube gods recommended me another video of a guy who did this whole month plan and practicing every day, 5 exercises I'm pretty sure. I'll link both their videos in the description. I just wanted to get a take of how this goes and how it is, and here are my results. So basically my routine was I did 7 exercises a day, each about 5 minutes. I would try to do each exercise 3 times, basically just bettering my score. I was kind of lenient with it. Sometimes I did less, sometimes I did a lot more, but overall practicing my aim was about an hour a day. So the exercises I did was 1 wall 5 targets, ascended tracking, 1 wall 6 targets small, rec strafes, kata invisible, Valorant peak training, Valorant small flicks, and 1 wall 6 targets TE. So how I measured my progress was as I was practicing, I would take the high score I got for the day and write it, and I would take the lowest score I got for the day and write it. Everything else I didn't record because I didn't want to have a spreadsheet full of like 1,000 numbers. Although there's not a lot of data for this, you can still get an idea of how I was performing each day based on how low I would go and how well I'd perform. So in Kovaak, when you try out a practice, you shoot the things, it tells you what score you got, and based on your score, it'll compare it to what other players got. The median is the halfway of all scores, so basically the average of everyone. When I started this endeavor, I was below the median always, which held true because I've always been terrible at first-person shooters. That's why I've always kind of strayed away from them, because it's just not fun when you're getting smoked by literally like everyone. But after I was done with this whole 21-day practice, being able to sit above the median score and to just say like, you know, half the people I'm gonna meet I could beat and half of them are gonna beat me, instead of it being, you know, 70% of the people I meet are gonna beat me and 30% of the people I can beat. A 50-50 is a much happier result of improvement. The median score is also nice because it pushes you to try to be like, okay, I want to be better than this, and it also shows people on your friends list. Somehow one of my friends, JT, is just a fucking god at this game. His scores were insane. I think I only beat like 1 if I even did. I might just be hallucinating that. Alright, so if you look at these graphs, you'll see that I actually started going up pretty high in the first few days on some of them, and then it just kind of went down. And then on day 8, I saw a big plateau. It seemed like it jumped up, and that was actually when I switched from a wired mouse to a wireless mouse. I bought it from my brother. Throughout this 3-week practice I was doing, I would constantly look at videos on how to improve myself strategically, and they said that wired mouses could affect your aim, especially if you have a higher sensitivity. It could produce like drag. A good way to stop this is to pull the wire till it's loose and then put something on top of it on your desk so it doesn't fall down beyond your computer. If not, I'd recommend a wireless mouse. You know, you can get a cheap one for 20 bucks or around 40. Just don't go over 50. Past that, you're probably getting scammed. Unless you're really serious about this, then, you know, go all in. But also on top of that, I think I naturally just hit an improvement peak where it kind of just clicked, because if you see after that, it steadily went up. But overall, if you look at this graph, it is a steady incline regardless. Even though the averages are kind of all over the place, you can see at the end of the day, I left off higher than where I started. It was not clean. There were days where I thought I actually did worse than day 1, and I actually did. You can see on day 6, I was doing pretty bad on some of these. And even at day 10 on some of the other ones, I was doing worse than how I started day 1. It's really just unpredictable how you feel in that day. I'm pretty satisfied with the results. And just looking at this graph, it's really reassuring to see that the rate of improvement is somewhat of a steady line. Whether or not that increase is a high rate or a low rate, it is still an increase over time. So if you wanted to practice this every day, you would improve. So if you look at the footage before and after in these, you can definitely see an improvement in my flicking, my confidence. It's still not 100% there. I'm not trying to make myself out to be some like god gamer. I mean, I've always been pretty ass at first-person shooters. That's why I just generally hate them. But I think just seeing these improvements, however small, is really reassuring that if you wanted to improve your aim, this would be a good method to use. Just practicing every day and constantly trying to learn about new things to make yourself yourself better. So how did this translate into Valorant? In Valorant, I steadily was an iron. I usually just played ranked games with my friends. I never really tried solo queue. I wasn't really ever into that. I would sometimes dip into bronze 3, but you know, it wasn't anything too special. But when I was practicing this every day after I was done practicing, I would play some rank, hop into solo queue. All of it was pretty much solo queue. And over the course of practicing like this, I eventually reached either silver 2 or silver 3. I definitely hit silver though. I might even have hit silver 1. I honestly don't remember. It was an improvement nonetheless. So it would be safe to say that an improvement in aim does translate to first-person shooters. You know, some games like Overwatch and stuff, it's not always about the aim, but in games like Valorant and CSGO, you know, aim is a pretty big part of the game. So actually halfway through this experiment, I was lucky enough to find out that one of my old friends, Jack, very good friend of mine, he was an Overwatch coach. But what I mean by that is he coached a professional team. Basically, I asked him for advice on what he said for me, and I am probably butchering this to hell. So sorry, Jack, if you're listening. He told me to lower my DPI. He asked me, what's my DPI? It was at like 3 or something on Valorant. It was really fast. You know, I could do like a fucking 720 by moving my mouse an inch. So he said, lower that shit. There's good websites to back this up. If you go to ValorantProDPIs.com, you can see that majority of the pros play with about 800 DPI at around 0.3 sensitivity. On day 10, 2 days after I got my new mouse, I changed my sensitivity from 1.2 to 0.184. And to this day, it's still at 0.184. It just stuck with me. It wasn't too slow, it wasn't too fast, it was pretty good. And the DPI I play at is 1000 DPI. And that's actually fast on the pro DPI side. Also, what Jack told me is that you want to focus on crosshair placement. So crosshair placement is you shouldn't walk around peeking corners looking at the ground, right? You want to put your crosshair where someone would be. If you're walking around a corner, put it where you know where a doorway is, put it where you think someone might be. It sounds really dumb, but subconsciously, you sometimes aim your crosshair in really weird places without realizing. And after doing this, I actually learned a lot that crosshair placement is sometimes better than aim, because sometimes you don't even need to aim. You already got your fucking crosshair on it. Another thing, this is more strategic, is saving when you don't have full buy. If your team is buying that round, even though you guys just lost and you don't have enough for Vandals, like they're buying Buckies and stuff, you buy with them. You don't want to save because they're dropping the money in. If you save and they lose, them dropping that money would be pointless. But if your team is comfortable saving, or you just want to go rogue and save up for Vandal because you're top fragging or something, just saving when you don't have full buy is always a good idea. Another thing he recommended is practice before games in an aim trainer like Kovaak, or in Valorant's training thing where you can shoot the bots' heads. The reasoning for this is that if you practice in Spike Rush or in a normal game, the amount of encounters you're gonna have throughout the game is maybe like 20, and it's gonna take you like 30 minutes to get in 20 encounters. But if you play like deathmatch or you practice, you're gonna be shoved at least 100 models in the span of like 5 minutes. You get more practice in without having to waste the time. Another thing with the aim is that he recommended that you don't rest your elbow on your armchair, because you want to be able to move your arm freely, so it's just kind of hovering in midair. But you know, you can have it supported if your armchair's level with your desk. Just don't have your elbow lower than where you're resting your wrist on your mouse or higher. You want to use your arm for most of your movements and wrist for small adjustments. So if you're gonna flick, that's your arm, and then for going to heads, it's wrist. The reasoning is there's more error in using your wrist because you could move it too far, too short, and with your arm you can get more precise movement, especially with a lower DPI. So over the course of this 21-day experiment, I also looked up a lot of videos to improve my tactics. I never really was a CSGO player, so if you played CSGO, you're probably better off at playing Valorant than I am. A lot of the things I learned was corner perspective. This is a big thing in first-person shooters. The farther away you are from the corner, the safer you are, because if you're against the wall of a corner and some dude's far away looking at that corner, he's gonna see your shoulder before you're going to be able to run out behind the corner and shoot him. It's just the way perspective works. So this means just go for watching corners from long distances. Another thing is wall peeking. In CSGO, you want to just show your shoulder for a second, go back. But in Valorant, players move very slow. So what you want to do is generally jump out and do like a 360 back in. Try not to wall peek, but if you have to, do it really fast, because if someone's watching that corner with an op, it's very easy to hit you because you don't have the speed speed. Like the time your head has cleared the corner, they would have seen your shoulder for like half a second already. So some of these tips I learned, I'm gonna list them off now. Don't shoot while running in Valorant. It's practically like not shooting at all. Scoping reduces movement speed by 25%. So scoping when you're passively watching long range angles, but if you need to move or something, don't scope it. B-hopping is important in Valorant because if you get tagged or shot in midair, you won't get slowed down. They might have updated this actually, I'm not 100% sure on that. Another tip is you can shoot through almost every corner in the game in Valorant. When you peek something or when you get an encounter, you want to commit. You need to commit. If you try to run away, and I still do this, the fact that when you get shot, you get slowed to fucking negative speed of light miles per hour, you're just dead. So when you get an encounter, you need to face them head on and just let out everything you got. Some more tips. You always know where your crosshair is, not the enemy. So look at the enemy when flicking, not your crosshair. You want to visualize your crosshair going to the enemy. That one's pretty basic. Don't aim your shotgun at the head because the bullet spread is not going to go perfectly at their head. You want to aim it at their torso and where the outer side of the ring is the head. So another tip that Jack actually taught me is when you use the op and are watching the corner, you don't want to watch the corner far away. You don't want to watch the corner super close up. You want to watch it a little bit off the corner or even close to the corner. Because of the slow movement speed in Valorant, when someone goes to peek and you're already watching that corner, if you see them and your sight is already on them, it's probably a guaranteed kill. All right, so did this training I did almost 6 months ago show any long-lasting improvements to this day? No, definitely not. I would definitely say it improved my outlook and strategy and just how I view gaming in general. If I wanted to keep improvement or even hold the improvement I had back then, I would have kept playing, but I've gotten rusty from not playing as much as I used to. But for me, it's no big deal. I don't play this game competitively. I just wanted to test this out. Do I recommend this? If your dream is to improve your aim, then if you want to put in the time and use Kovaak, you would definitely improve, or any aim trainer at that. And if you're young and is your dream to be a pro gamer or whatever, I would recommend doing it because you have all the potential in the world. Of course, if that's what you want to do, you know, don't let me, some fucking random dude, tell you what to do. And if you are going to do it, I would recommend following a schedule, making a spreadsheet to hold yourself accountable to do it every day. Because if you don't do it every day, you're going to lose this momentum and you're going to skip out on days or avoid it or dread it. Always, when you practice, leave with a good mindset, leave wanting to improve yourself the next day. Don't leave dreading having to do it tomorrow or any of that stuff. And if you do, maybe it's a sign that you shouldn't want to be a pro gamer or something like that. So my goal was just to improve my aiming to somewhat average or above. And if it was my dream to be pro, I would continue using Kovaak every day and keep adding new exercises to improve. But I will not do this because this is not my dream and I haven't. And I will go back to reserving the time I spent practicing in this video for what I like to do. So over the course of this whole Kovaak training, it actually led me to doing some self-improvement stuff. On top of that, I made a daily spreadsheet similar to this of daily goals I wanted to do, like editing videos, art, all that stuff. I had always been bad at art. I improved it a lot over the past 6 months. And I would say if you want to hold yourself accountable, not even for like scores like this, creating a spreadsheet for every day from the day you start it and checking off whenever you do it, how much you did it, if you did anything, holding yourself accountable, in my experience, works pretty well. Now, recently I've been in a rut. I haven't been doing it, but it did work when I did do it. And if you wanted to keep that momentum and stick yourself to that schedule, I think it could work very well for you. So that's pretty much it for the video. If this video was kind of scuffed, that's because I've been putting off making this for half a year. It's just one of those things where I wanted it to be perfect, but because me putting it off, you know, it's not even going to see the light of the day, so what am I doing? I hope you enjoyed, and by no means am I trying to copy the other guys' videos. I just wanted to try it myself. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any recommendations, post them in the comments. I'll pin them. Use the comments to help each other out. Tell me what you think of this. Thanks for watching. I'm Yotoad. See y'all later.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Deez.
Deez what, sir?